What's going on, guys? Trav here, and welcome back to another video. And as it's that time of the week again, welcome back to Fun Fact Friday on a Thursday. I know we're getting a little spicy this week and dropping it on a Thursday, but I'll explain why very shortly. Before I do explain why, if there are any topics you want to see me cover in future Fun Fact Friday videos, drop a comment down below. I'd love to know what you guys would like to learn about. With that being said, let's talk about today's topic, which is me. That's right. This is Fun Fact Friday Trav Part 2. And with that being said, let's get right into today's facts. Fun fact number 0. As you may remember, Fun Fact Friday Trav Episode 1 dropped on November 29th, which was 6 months ago, which happened to be my half birthday. Meaning, as it is 6 months after that, and today is May 29th, today is my 26th birthday. So I decided to make the Fun Fact Friday video about me. I know. I'll try not to gas myself up too much. I know. Had to do it though. But I hope you guys enjoy learning some more cool facts about me. Now let's get into the real facts. Not that it being my birthday today is not a real fact, but let's get into the real facts. Fun fact number 1. The video game that I have the most time played in is Fortnite. While I haven't played Fortnite in probably 2 or 3 years at this point, Fortnite is the game I've sunk the most time of my life into. Now, I had to go through all my games to make sure that this is correct. Fortnite is definitely the game that I have the most time played. If you want to take a guess on how much time played I have, drop a comment down below. And before I tell you, I think you guys are going to be quite shocked. I'll give you guys 3 more seconds to put your comment down below. 3, 2, 1. On Xbox alone, this was before I built my computer, which I built my computer in August of 2020. So just on Xbox alone from, I believe, 2018 it was till 2020, I had 120 days, 13 hours, and 51 minutes played. That's just on Xbox. Thankfully, from August 2020 until now, I have not played nearly as much of that, but I have played on PC 563 hours and 56 minutes, or 23 days, 11 hours, and 56 minutes. Now, assuming I did my math right, which I'm about 95% sure, I have spent 144 days, 1 hour, and 47 minutes playing Fortnite, or at least with Fortnite running, because I won't lie, I probably had Fortnite running in the background or just idle for a good chunk of time, but definitely not a significant chunk of time in the grand scheme of things. Maybe only like a couple days. I'd say probably 5 to 10 days max. But still, that's an insane number, and imagine if I had used all that time to learn a new language or do something productive. Where would I be right now? I guess we'll never know. Thankfully, I've broken the cycle of playing Fortnite and I am fixed. Just kidding. I'm wasting my time doing other things like making YouTube videos. Just kidding. I'm having a great time doing this. But let's talk about fun fact number 2. My favorite Philadelphia Philly of all time is Roy Halladay. You guys may have seen me wearing my gray road Roy Halladay jersey in the Phillies vlogs. That is my favorite jersey, and I'd say my workhorse jersey. That's the jersey I wear most frequently. But the reason why I wear that all the time is because he's my favorite Philly. That jersey is actually a replica of the jersey that he wore on May 29th, 2010. So at this point, 15 years ago today, the day where he threw a perfect game, which again happens to be on my birthday. That is why he is my favorite baseball player, and I do have a couple of cool Roy Halladay memorabilia items. The first cool item that I have is this signed Roy Halladay baseball that I got when I was in Cooperstown at the Baseball Hall of Fame. This was probably, if I had to guess, maybe 10 years ago at this point that I've had this baseball. I believe this is the only signed baseball that I own, and one of very few signed pieces of memorabilia that I own. I really like this. I do have a couple signed jerseys, but this is probably one of the cooler signed pieces, just because again he threw his perfect game on my birthday, so from that he was a special player to me. The other cool piece of Roy Halladay memorabilia that I have, which I consider this to be an act of God, and I will eventually make a full video on this. One of the very few times that I've ever got a baseball from a Phillies game or a baseball game in general, like a foul ball or anything, was on Roy Halladay Day. Initially it was supposed to be on May 29th, 2020, but due to crazy times and certain circumstances they had to push that back. So my family and I went, and it was a celebration of both Roy Halladay and my birthday, because again, perfect game was on my birthday. But I was actually able to catch this baseball, and this was the first foul ball I've ever caught by myself, and I think anybody in my family has caught at a major league sporting event equipment. We have a ton of minor leagues foul balls and stuff, but this Roy Halladay ball, it's super cool. Hopefully the camera will focus. There it is. It says Roy Halladay 34. This actually, it ended up being in like August of either 2020 or 2021. I don't remember. I'll put the date up on the screen. I was lucky enough to get a baseball on the day that they retired his jersey at the Phillies game. Super awesome. He's now a Hall of Famer. And again, this is one of the coolest items that I own, and I'm super thankful that I got it. On to our next fun fact. Fun fact number 3. I have never been to a concert. For as much of a music guy as I am, it's absolutely wild that I've spent the first 26 years of my life never going to a real concert. I've been to a like little bar concert that I don't really count as a real concert, but yeah, I've never been to an actual musical concert. Music is one of my favorite things, and I don't go a day without listening to music. Obviously, I'll be listening to my music all day long, and funnily enough, just I've never been to a concert. Growing up, I didn't have a lot of friends that I would go to do stuff with, so didn't really have any concerts come from that, as well as, you know, it just never really interested me to go to a concert. I'd rather go to like a sporting event or something. But what I will say is I am going to 2 concerts this fall. There might be more concerts in between, but at the very least, I'm seeing The Fray, I believe on September 3rd. And then on October 10th, I am seeing My Morning Jacket with my boy Nate, who is coming up to visit from North Carolina. Really, really looking forward to that, and it's gonna be a great time. Can't wait to finally go and experience what a concert's all about. Fun fact number 4. I am low-key a chef, and my signature dish is flat top wings. About 3 or 4 years ago, I bought my dad a flat top grill for his birthday. One of the best purchases I've ever made, because that thing is the best. We have a standard grill and barely use it anymore due to owning the flat top, because the flat top is just better for like 95% of things. The only thing that I would argue is better on a standard grill is hot dogs from time to time, but definitely steak. Steak is definitely better on a standard grill, in my opinion. When we would go to watch Eagles games at one of my dad's friends' houses, he had a flat top beforehand, and so obviously I didn't just buy it blind and like, ooh, a flat top would be cool to own. No. We perfected a lot of different things at his house before I bought the flat top, and from eating all of the great food from that flat top at his, only on Sundays or occasionally Thursdays whenever the Eagles played, I knew I needed to get one, so I got my dad a flat top, and from that, we love cooking on the flat top. It makes great bacon, egg, and cheeses, wings, which again, that is probably my specialty and the thing that I'm best at cooking, smash burgers, hot dogs are pretty good on there. Pretty much anything is unbelievable on the flat top. It's my favorite grilling, or it's my favorite way to cook food. And once I move downtown into Philly, spoiler alert, you're gonna have to stay tuned for that one, I'm definitely buying a flat top for the new crib. So can't wait to do that. I'll have some cooking on the flat top vids coming somewhat soon, probably. I have a really cool video idea coming up as well. That'll be sometime midsummer because I need it to be nice out for that. But my best dish that I make cooking is flat top wings, just in case you guys were wondering. Fun fact number 5. In my spare time, I love doing graphic design. Growing up, I've always just had a fascination with computers and photography and cameras and stuff like that. So I always have tried to be somewhat technologically savvy. In high school, there was a class that I took called photography class where I learned how to shoot and use Photoshop, which that might have been the worst decision I ever made for myself, but also the best decision. The reason why it's the worst decision is because Adobe is not cheap, let me tell you. It's like 60 bucks a month or something like that. And I obviously use Photoshop and Premiere Pro to edit all my videos and make my thumbnails, which again, I have no problem paying, really enjoy it. I use it for a couple of different other avenues, which I'm about to talk about. As a whole, I really enjoy graphic design. So a couple years ago, when my brother was still in college, for his college team, I would make all the graphics. I got really good at it, and then once he graduated, I decided to retire. I wasn't getting paid for it, but again, didn't need to get paid. Love to help out my brother. He's one of my favorite humans in the entire world. But from that, I've also learned that I'm pretty good at drawing and making logos. This shirt that I'm actually wearing right now is the Cobbs Creek Friends and Family logo, which I designed myself, actually. Give you guys another view, as well as I'll put a picture up on the screen over here. One of my dad's friends is a bigwig at Cobbs Creek and asked me to design a logo for them that they'd potentially use as their main logo. Unfortunately, that never became the case, and it just became Friends and Family. And it's super cool. I can say, wow, I designed one of the Cobb Creek logos. If you have no idea what Cobbs Creek is, it is a public golf course in Philly and has a super cool story. They just put over $100 million or something like that into it to restore it. And I will be making a dedicated Cobbs Creek video somewhat soon, just because the history is really cool and I want to talk about it. So hopefully you guys stay tuned for that. But other logos I've made, just random ones for my friends. Recently, one of my friends asked me if I could make a logo for his golf trip that he has coming up. And I was like, absolutely. Gave me a rough topic of what he wanted. And over time, it transformed into something crazy and something that I'm super proud of. Didn't know I had it in the bag to draw that. Let me know what you guys think, of course. But one of the more fun projects that I've ever done was that, and I'm super excited on how it turned out. I also, in the past, I haven't done this recently, but I am trying to get back into it, have made line arts of different athletes and people. I'll throw up a couple of images, obviously. They're on the screen. You would have seen them by now. They're currently changing up here while I'm talking, but I'll throw a couple of the best ones on. I got into that like late 2021-ish or so, 2022, sometime around then, and I think I did a pretty good job. A lot of people liked it. And of course they turned out super well, so super proud of all those. I actually use a iPad mini as my drawing space, and I do it all in Photoshop, so pretty used to all that. The iPad is pretty limited of what I can do editing wise once I'm done. Like if I need to color overlay a certain color and change it or whatnot. So I always have to use the actual computer app version of Photoshop when that time has come. But it's super nice that Adobe is cloud-based, so it's super easy to sync them between each other. Fun fact number 6, I hate sprinkles. Gonna keep this one short and sweet because there's really not much to say about it. My least favorite dessert item is sprinkles, besides cake. I'm also a cake hater, so I guess this is fun fact number 6.5. I hate cake and I hate sprinkles, and I hate sprinkles. Mainly the cake part, I just don't really like the texture as well. As for the sprinkles, I just don't like the randomness and the texture of them, like randomly finding them in different bites. For our next fun fact, I have a special guest. We're throwing it back just like the first video. Welcome in my brother Cole.
Fun fact number 7, the first picture, or one of the first pictures I have with my brother, he's drooling on me. I'm being drooled on. It's not right.
I won't lie. I am very much guilty as charged. Thank you so much for coming on the Fun Fact Friday, Cole. I really appreciate you. Means a lot that you had enough time to come on to the show and give a fun fact about me. Fun fact number 8, I have run the bases of Wrigley Park in Chicago and almost got arrested. Again, this will eventually be a storytime video on its own, but the brief plot synopsis was I was on a trip with my grandparents. They took us to Wrigley, and coincidentally, it was Kids Run the Bases Day. I would guess this is around 2010, 2011, maybe a little bit earlier than that. I don't remember exactly, unfortunately, but I'm going to keep it vague so that way I'm not spoiling too much for the storytime video. I may or may not have wandered off the path and got yelled at by the police, but again, that's a story for another day. Fun fact number 9, the most famous person that follows me on Twitter is TM88. If you've never heard of TM88, he is one of my favorite producers of all time. A couple of the songs that he has produced are EXO Tour Life by Lil Uzi, Codeine Crazy by Future, and No Bystanders by Travis Scott, just to name a few. He has a ton and a ton of songs. This is what his producer tag sounds like. A very distinct producer tag, and also one of my favorite producer tags. If you're wondering what my most favorite producer tag is, I know I'm getting a little off topic here. It's Weezy out of here. Anyways, he follows me on Twitter, one of my favorite producers, so that's super cool. Super excited about that. Fun fact number 10. My favorite color is hex code CC0033. This color is like a crimson red. I don't know the exact color name, or actually, I don't even know if it has a actual name itself. It's a very similar color to what the Alabama Crimson Tide have. That is not why it is my favorite color, and I didn't pick it because of that. I actually one time was randomly in Photoshop, just playing around with the red colors, drawing something probably, and stumbled across it, and again, it'll be up here in the corner, and has been up here in the corner the whole time, but I just really liked the color of how it looked. It goes really well with white and black, which are my 2 favorite accent colors for the color red. And finally, our final fun fact of the day, fun fact number 11. This is a little bit of a personal flex. I'm extremely happy, and one of the things that I'm most proud of myself, of course, is that I've never done any drugs, I've never smoked, I've never vaped, I've never done anything that has not been prescribed to me. I live a very clean lifestyle, and that's kind of how my parents raised me, but also I've never really had a super deep interest in doing any drugs, but I think it's a little flex, and also just something to be super proud of, that I've never been peer pressured into doing them, or realistically, it's just I can do whatever I want without needing like a substance or anything to make me feel a certain way, which is really the main reason why I'm actually kind of scared to do them. Is I really don't like relying on things, so I'm always hesitant to do things that might potentially make me rely on them. I also kind of have a low-key addictive personality, as you might have seen with the Fortnite time played. Once I like something, I will put a lot of time into it, perfecting my craft or realistically doing whatever it is. So the fact that I haven't done any drugs is pretty good, just because, again, that's not something that I really want to be associated with. But anyways, those were our 10, technically 11, and maybe even 11.5 fun facts about me. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. It was pretty hard to come up with 11 unique fun facts, or however many I had. had. I think it was really, let's just go with 10.5 because I kind of gave you a bonus one in there, but it was pretty hard to come up with all these fun facts. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Fun Fact Friday, Trav part 3 is going to be super difficult because, again, I don't really know what other fun facts I have to really share. If that time ever does come, we will cross that bridge then. Let me know down in the comments which fun fact was your favorite thing about me and which surprised you the most. If you did enjoy the video, consider leaving a like. And if you're new here, consider subscribing. I post at least 2 new videos every week. I promise Fun Fact Fridays are normally on Friday. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch this video on my birthday. It means a lot to me, and I really appreciate every single one of you. With that being said, it's been your boy Trav, and I'll catch you guys in a video soon. Later.